How tough is it to train a fighter who you don't know when that fight is going to take place?
It's very difficult because it was like just really a lot of work, just getting everything done from the glove selection to the rules meeting to the legal hand wrap in Las Vegas, 1-inch tape, and they're trying to use 2-inch tape.
And footwork that seem almost mystical. What unseen force fuels Manny Pacquiao's unbreakable will, his uncanny ability to defy time itself? Why does the world still lean in whenever he moves? These questions haunt every boxing fan, but one man holds the answer in his calm, unflinching gaze. Freddie Roach, the architect behind Pacquiao's greatest moments. At last, he reveals why this once-in-a-century fighter remains so extraordinary.
Definitive. What do you think is the best advice? What do you think is the best advice that he ever gave you?
Just focus. Always. What your dreams is.
Was that advice that you needed? Was that something that you found difficult to do?
Manny Pacquiao's legend isn't built on raw power alone. Yes, there's the Cobra Strike speed and explosive force, but it's the harmony between velocity and purpose that sets him apart. In those blistering flurries, every punch carries a message, an encoded strategy forged through decades of shared sweat and sacrifice. Freddie Roach has watched Manny's fists carve patterns no textbook could ever teach, patterns that confuse opponents and captivate audiences. He knows those punches aren't random outbursts. They're a finely tuned symphony, with every note landing exactly where it must.
2010 negotiations, 10 negotiations, and there's accusation. Floyd saying that, Manny's dope. There's a lot going on.
Aging fighters often cling to past glories, but Pacquiao's greatness never truly faded.
Aging fighters often cling to past glories, but Pacquiao's greatness never truly faded, evolved. At 46, his body bears the scars of countless wars, yet his mind remains razor-sharp. Freddie Roach doesn't see a diminished fighter. Instead, he sees a new layer of cunning revealed. This version of Pacquiao studies angles with the precision of a chess master, baiting and setting traps with calculated brilliance. The soft tremor in Roach's voice when he describes these tactics isn't rooted in doubt, it's reverence. Reverence for a fighter who transforms physical limits into strategic advantages.
Train a fighter who you don't know when that fight is going to take place.
It's very difficult because
Then their Pacquiao fight. Opponents talk about timing their counters, metronome, predictably. Roach explains that Manny's footwork feeds this rhythm, constantly resetting the pace so foes can never sink their attacks. One moment Pacquiao's in your face with a 3-punch salvo, the next he's vanished, reappearing at a fresh angle. It's chaos, yes, but chaos with a purpose. To fracture your focus, to make you chase shadows, and to remind you that you're fighting more than a man. You're fighting an idea.
it was like just really a lot of work, just getting everything done from the glove
That
selection.
belief, Roach's unwavering faith in Pacquiao, transcends mere statistics and punch counts. It is a conviction forged in the crucible of their shared struggle. In the quiet of the wildcard gym, Roach's Parkinson's tremors still as he watches Manny wrap his hands, greeting every coach and fighter with respect before diving into drills. He sees the same spark he first noticed in a shy teenager from General Santos City. Back then, it was raw talent. Now, it is honed wisdom. Roach trusts that spark to illuminate the darkest corners of the ring, and to ignite finishes when the physical edge
Legal
begins
hand
to
wrap
fade.
in Las Vegas, 1-inch tape, and they're trying to use 2-inch tape.
Floyd's playing a lot of games
He
here.
plays a lot of games.
But is this a stall tactic, in your opinion?
I believe it was a stall tactic.
Strategy and spirit blend seamlessly in Pacquiao's camp.
In
Gone.
Pacquiao's camp, strategy and spirit blend seamlessly. Gone are the days of endless 4-round sparring sessions. Now workouts are surgical, with each drill designed to preserve what remains and sharpen what endures. Roach has woven modern science into Manny's regimen, incorporating reflex drills, cryotherapy, and data-driven movement analysis. Yet, he has never let go of the old-school creed: train the mind as much as the body. The result is a fighter who, despite the toll of years, remains unpredictable. No opponent has faced a southpaw who can vanish at will, only to spring back with a left hook from an angle they didn't even know existed.
Well, look, Freddie, I appreciate your time.
Maybe his wife will get mad at me for saying that.
Trying to drag him back out.
Perhaps the most enduring quality is heart. Freddie Roach has seen fighters chase money, fame, and quick exits from the sport they once loved, but Manny Pacquiao never wavered. He fought through injuries that would have ended lesser careers not for paydays, but for the purity of the craft. Roach recalls moments in camp when Pacquiao could have taken it easy after political victories, charitable achievements, and earning more money than most boxers dream of, but he always chose the ring. That choice speaks louder than any punch. It tells fighters everywhere that true greatness isn't measured in titles or paychecks, but in the core willingness to return to battle simply because it's who you are. Roach insists this isn't nostalgia or reliving past glories. It's about recognizing that some flames never die, they just burn differently. Pacquiao's fire now burns with the warmth of experience, the glow of wisdom, and the steady light of unshakable belief. When Roach says Manny is special, he speaks from a rare vantage point, a lifetime spent guiding talent from its first flicker to its brightest blaze. He often jokes that training Pacquiao is like debugging a massive codebase. Each session reveals a new variable, a hidden pattern waiting to be optimized. Imagine hundreds of hours of film as a sprawling dataset, where every jab and feint becomes a data point in an endless matrix. Roach treats each camp like a tech startup, constantly iterating on Manny's approach, running mini A/B tests with footwork drills versus pad work, and comparing recovery metrics from ice baths against simple rest. The result is a fighter who evolves not by chasing gimmicks, but by blending old-school grit with modern analytics. It's a powerful reminder that true mastery often lives at the intersection of time-tested craft and bold innovation.
I talked to him on the phone, and he wants to fight one more time.
He wants to fight one more time.
He does.
Against not an exhibition, a professional fight.
Behind the scenes, the wildcard gym buzzes with activity that rivals any big data operation. A network of sensors tracks Pacquiao's movements in 3 dimensions, feeding real-time statistics to coaches who monitor his speed, angles, and power output. This isn't science fiction. It's the new reality of elite boxing. Yet Freddie Roach remains skeptical of relying solely on technology, questioning any flashy new tool that promises to unlock hidden potential, insisting that discipline and hard work are still the ultimate keys. In his view, technology should highlight weaknesses, not replace the grind that has forged champions for decades. There's something almost poetic in how Pacquiao's career mirrors the life cycle of a neural network. He began as a raw model, hungry for data, training tirelessly on local mats in the Philippines and absorbing lessons from every sparring partner. Over time, his layers deepened, strategies built on strategies, instincts sharpened through countless fights. Now, at this advanced stage, Roach applies a kind of selective pruning, removing unnecessary movements to keep Pacquiao lean and precise. The analogy isn't far-fetched. Both boxing and machine learning demand patience, fine-tuning, and a relentless focus on performance metrics. Despite all the high-tech fanfare, the core of Pacquiao's greatness still lies in moments that defy quantification. Like the time he walked through a hail of punches to land a single shot that won a world title. Roach remembers staring at the screen in disbelief, convinced the timing defied both physics and probability. Moments like that can't be reduced to numbers. They speak to an innate quality Roach calls boxing, intuition, an elusive trait you either have or you don't, and Pacquiao's supply of it remains unmatched.
Who right now though could he fight?
I haven't let him choose anyone yet.
Roach also shares fun facts that belie Manny's diminutive frame, like the time they measured his lung capacity against much taller athletes during camp, and Pacquiao's numbers were off the charts. Doctors were baffled, attributing it to years of running up and down the hills of Mindanao, where the air thins at altitude. That rugged, unconventional training ground became Manny's secret lab, forging a level of cardiovascular resilience that still amazes newcomers. It's a testament to old-school methods. No fancy equipment, just relentless uphill sprints and a will that refused to break. Outside the ring, Pacquiao's life resembles a sprawling dataset too complex to capture in simple charts. His philanthropic work, political career, and global influence are as much a part of his identity as any knockout punch. Roach sees this wide-ranging palette of experiences as a strength. A fighter who has faced poverty, hunger, and political strife brings more to the ring than muscle memory. He fights with layers of perspective no training regimen can replicate. In Roach's eyes, that depth of character is the foundation of Manny's special sauce. Yet Roach never sugarcoats the challenges. He remains the skeptic in the corner, constantly questioning whether Pacquiao's body can handle another grueling camp. He pores over medical reports with the precision of a researcher validating a hypothesis, always aware that one misstep could be costly. His tone is encouraging, but grounded heel praises strong session and immediately caution against overtraining. This blend of fierce optimism and sober realism forms a blueprint for resilience that could inspire any serious athlete.
His heart he said he wants one more fight. And then his wife called me up and said, don't let him fight, don't let him fight. And I try to be honest.
The narrative often romanticizes Manny Pacquiao's comeback, framing it as a fairy tale of defying age. But Roach cuts through that myth with a firm dose of reality. He reminds fans that no fighter's prime lasts forever, and that every victory at this stage carries the weight of history. He refuses to let past glories overshadow the urgency of present performance, insisting that each fight must earn its place on Manny's record, not rely on nostalgia. This strict standard keeps Pacquiao hungry and focused on the work rather than the applause. In sparring sessions, Roach likens Manny's style to a finely tuned algorithm that adapts in He creates scenarios where Pacquiao must respond to unpredictable variables, changes in sparring partner height, stance, or defensive habits like stress testing code under pressure to find weak points. Pacquiao thrives in these moments, showing an uncanny ability to morph his technique and exploit brief openings. Living proof that adaptability can outmatch brute force. Despite all the tech and data, Roach believes big data can't replace the old-school fight camp environment, where fighters share stories, meals, and bonds. He values those traditional moments most, insisting that the camaraderie in the gym builds a psychological edge no algorithm can replicate. When teammates cheer Pacquiao on, they fuel his competitive fire. When they groan over bruises and exhaustion, they reinforce the understanding that boxing is war by other means. These human connections, Roach insists, form the invisible scaffolding that supports every punch Manny throws.
When a man in the sport wants to fight, sometimes he's gonna fight. Yeah, I agree with you. He's gonna fight. And you know who? It doesn't matter.
Looking ahead, Roach imagines a future where fighters embrace even more data-driven insights, without losing touch with the sport's roots. He envisions training camps where analytics teams work alongside veteran cutmen, blending science with time-honored traditions. Still, he questions whether boxing can maintain its soul amid this evolution. Will future champions lose the raw passion that once defined them? For Roach, the answer is clear. The art of boxing must remain. At its core, numbers can guide, but heart decides. Manny Pacquiao's story resonates because it proves that excellence is never static, it evolves. Shaped by past triumphs, failures, and a relentless curiosity. Roach embodies this spirit, always probing, never complacent, and unshakably committed. To the pursuit of perfection, he questions every assumption, rejects easy answers, and demands authenticity in every jab. Watching him work, it becomes clear that mastery in boxing or any discipline requires both rigorous analysis and an unmeasurable belief in something deeper. Every coach knows the greatest battles often unfold long before the opening bell. In the quiet hours before dawn, when the world sleeps and the fighter laces up not to face an opponent, but to confront doubt, Roach observes Pacquiao move through these rituals with unwavering focus. He's seen the lines deepen on Manny's face, yet he still sees a spark that hasn't faded. That inner resolve, Roach insists, is as vital as any punch. It's the psychological edge that transforms preparation into performance. While the media often frames this comeback as a fairy tale, Roach refuses to indulge in fantasy. He challenges every hype narrative, demanding proof in the gym before headlines are earned. When asked if Pacquiao can still sell tickets, he snaps back. Ask me if he can still win rounds. That grounded skepticism keeps expectations in check and reminds fans that boxing isn't about nostalgia. It's about what happens between the ropes on fight night. So guys, subscribe to my channel for more new updates.